Imagine standing at the edge of a river, watching the currents swirl and clash. The water is cold, relentless, and it does not pause to ask if you are ready. It simply moves, carving its path through stone, indifferent to what it leaves behind. Now ask yourself, when did you last allow yourself to be this ruthless, this unapologetic, this free? What if the warmth you cling to, the tenderness you offer so freely, is the very chain that drags you under? This isn't just a question of emotion, it's a question of survival, of power, of sovereignty over your own life. And today we will descend into the mind of one of history's most misunderstood philosophers, Niccolo Machiavelli, to uncover why the art of detachment isn't just strategy, it's liberation. Because what you'll hear in the next few minutes may unsettle you, it may even offend you, but it will also reveal the hidden key to mastering your relationships, your ambitions, and your destiny. And the final truth we'll confront is the most chilling of all. It will demand you choose between the prison of love and the throne of self-possession. Machiavelli, the Florentine strategist whose name has become synonymous with cunning, wrote a truth so sharp it still cuts centuries later. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must, therefore, be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. But what does this mean for you, for the way you love, for the way you trust? It means that vulnerability without vigilance is suicide, that affection without armor is a gift to those who will exploit it. Think of the last time you were wounded by someone you adored. Was it because they were stronger, or because you were softer? Machiavelli's genius lies in his refusal to romanticize human nature. He saw the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. And the first step to becoming cold-blooded is this: recognize that love is not a virtue, it is a transaction. You've been taught that to care deeply is noble, that to sacrifice is sacred. But who benefits from these myths? Not you. Not when your generosity is repaid with betrayal, not when your loyalty becomes a leash. Machiavelli would ask you, what has your warmth earned you besides wounds? Consider the ruler who clings to mercy while his enemies sharpen their knives, or the lover who drowns in devotion while their partner grows indifferent. Kindness, unchecked by calculation, is a weakness waiting to be exploited. This is not cynicism, it is clarity. The kind of clarity that lets you see the strings attached to every heartstring. But here is where the path divides. Becoming cold-blooded does not mean becoming cruel. It means becoming deliberate. It means understanding that even those you love are capable of turning against you, not because they are evil, but because they are human. Machiavelli warned, men are quick to change nature when they imagine they can improve their condition. How many times have you seen a friend become a foe when ambition whispered? How often has family revealed their fangs when money or power entered the room? The cold-blooded do not weep over this truth. They prepare for it. They love, but with eyes wide open. They trust, but with a hand on the dagger of discernment. And now we arrive at the first crossroads, the moment you must choose. Will you continue to bleed for those who would not spill a drop for you? Or will you learn the art of emotional alchemy, turning the lead of attachment into the gold of self-mastery? Machiavelli's answer is ruthless. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But fear is not the goal. The goal is respect. The kind of respect that comes when others know you cannot be manipulated, that your kindness is a choice, not a compulsion. So let me ask you, when was the last time you said no without apology? When did you last walk away from a relationship that demanded everything and offered nothing? The cold-blooded do not suffer from the disease of people-pleasing. They understand that every yes to others is a no to themselves. And with that understanding comes a power so potent it shakes the foundations of every relationship you have. But this is only the beginning, because the next layer of this truth is even more unsettling. It forces you to confront the illusion of fairness, the lie that life rewards the gentle. Machiavelli's world had no room for such delusions, and neither does yours. Picture a wolf separated from its pack, wounded by the very allies it once hunted beside. It does not curse the universe. It does not plead for mercy. It licks its wounds in silence and learns to hunt alone. There is a lesson here, one that Machiavelli carved into the bedrock of his philosophy. Dependency is danger. The moment you need someone more than they need you, you have handed them the power to destroy you. Think of the lover who stays in a loveless marriage, clinging to the corpse of a dead affection, or the employee who sacrifices integrity for the approval of a boss who would replace them without hesitation. Why do we chain ourselves to those who have already shown us their indifference? Because we have been taught that loneliness is worse than betrayal, that abandonment is the ultimate terror. But Machiavelli whispers a different truth. The only real abandonment is self-abandonment. The cold-blooded do not fear solitude. They cultivate it. Because in solitude there is no false reflection of worth, no distorted mirror of another's fleeting regard. There is only the unshakable core of your own resolve. This is why Machiavelli admired Cesare Borgia, a man who trusted no one but his own will. Borgia did not weep when allies turned. He eliminated them. You may not wield a dagger, but you must wield something far more lethal, the willingness to cut away what no longer serves you. And here lies the second revelation. Love is not the opposite of cold-bloodedness. Love is its most potent weapon, but only when it is disciplined, only when it is given by choice, not by need. The cold-blooded love deeply, but they love from a place of abundance, not desperation. They do not love to be loved in return. They love because it is their decision to do so. Ask yourself, how many of your relationships are rooted in fear? Fear of being alone, fear of disapproval, fear of facing the void within. Machiavelli would say, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The fool waits until the betrayal is undeniable. The wise sever ties at the first sign of rot. But how? How do you silence the screaming instinct to cling? You start by rewriting the story you've been told about attachment. You begin to see relationships as alliances, not lifelines. You measure loyalty not by words, but by actions. And most importantly, you learn the art of strategic detachment, the ability to care without being consumed. This is not a call to abandon love. It is a call to master it, to love like a sovereign, not a beggar. And yet, the hardest test is still to come, because the final truth demands you face the greatest lie of all, the lie of permanence. There is a moment in every life when the veil tears, when you see with brutal clarity that nothing is forever. Not love, not trust, not even the bonds of blood. Machiavelli called this Fortuna, the fickle goddess of fate who delights in upending the plans of men. Those who weep when she strikes are doomed. Those who adapt survive. Think of the father who sacrifices everything for his children only to be discarded in old age, or the friend who gives decades of loyalty only to be forgotten when their usefulness ends. Why does this happen? Because the cold-blooded understand a law the warm cannot accept. All relationships are temporary. Some last a lifetime, most do not. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. The cold-blooded do not refuse love. They refuse delusion. They know that even the closest bonds can fracture, and so they never build their entire world upon them. They are like the architect who designs a palace with secret passages, not because they plan to flee, but because they understand that even the grandest walls may crumble. And here is where the weak falter. They demand guarantees where none exist. They ask for promises that cannot be kept. But Machiavelli warns, he who builds on the people builds on mud. Replace the people with any human attachment, and the truth remains. You cannot build your life on something that can walk away. So what is the alternative? You build on yourself. You become the foundation. You love, but you do not need. You give, but you do not impoverish yourself. And now a question that will echo in your bones. What would you do if you knew, beyond doubt, that everyone you love will leave you? By choice? By chance? By death? Would you love less? Or would you love more fiercely, but with a hand always free to let go? The cold-blooded choose the latter. They understand that the deepest strength lies not in possession, but in release. But this is only the threshold, because the final revelation is the most transformative of all. It is the secret of true power.